Hi, my name is Clayton Simmons, and today I will take a look at the BCS versus the CFP. College football playoffs was supposed to give teams outside the Power 5 conferences a path to the national title game. All it's done is exile them more. In an article by the team at Saturday Down South, they ran a simulation of the BCS compared to this year's CFP standings. In either system, the same four teams would have gotten into the playoff. College football is a billion-dollar industry who can't figure out how to run their playoff system. As an avid college football fan for the last 25 years, I have followed the CFP since its inception in 2014. Today we will look at the similarities between the BCS and the CFP. We will also look at how there is a need to go to an 8-team college football playoff now. And we will take a look at why that time is now to go to an 8-team playoff. We have not come as far as people think we have with the CFP. The similarities between the BCS and the CFP are astounding. In an article by Zach Al-Khatib called 4 Years Later, College Football Playoff Has Solved No Controversy to the BCS Era for the Sporting News. He showed how non-Power 5 schools still get left out of the top 10 on a regular basis. UCF, the last remaining unbeaten team in FBS, being ranked number 12 in the country. Perhaps the Knights didn't deserve a spot in the playoff, but for them to not even be ranked in the top 10 borders on the absurd. The team from Saturday Down South gave us this chart that shows the comparison from the BCS to the CFP for this year's standings. If you'll note, all four teams that made the playoff in the CFP would have made the playoff with the BCS. Now that we have an understanding of the BCS and CFP and how they're not far apart, let's look at how the CFP can help themselves. The problem can be solved by going to an 8-team playoff. In an article by Chip Scroggins called It's Time, College Football Playoff Should Expand to an 8-team Field Sooner Rather Than Later, for the Star Tribune, he says, no school outside of a Power 5 conference or Notre Dame has ever scaled the wall. Cincinnati finished 9-0 with a top 10 defense this season and still was left outside by the selection committee. In the rankings we showed by the team at Saturday Down South, you'll see that Cincinnati finished at number 8. If the playoff included 8 teams, they would have gotten in. Mike Shari said in an article called A BCS versus CFP, debating pros and cons for each format for Bleacher Report, he said this about the CFP. The fact that it will allow the very best teams in college football to do battle on the field rather than through formulas. By going to the 8 teams, this statement would actually become true because we would get the best teams proving it on the field for the national title. This is why the time is now to go to an 8-team playoff. The longer we wait, the more teams will miss out. Chip Scroggins said in his article, It's Time, College Football Playoff Should Go to an 8-team Playoff Sooner Rather Than Later, says, open it up, give more teams a shot, move closer to a real playoff. This is such a true statement. We need to give more teams a chance to win a national title. In the same Chip Scroggins article, he says, one knock on expansion is the likelihood of more blowouts. Guess what? The semifinals with only 4 teams regularly produces lopsided victories. There are blowouts at every level of football, including the NFL, including their playoffs. This is not a good excuse to not expand. Today we looked at the similarities between the BCS and the CFP. We showed the need for an 8-team playoff. And lastly, we showed why that need is now. College football playoff was supposed to give teams outside the Power 5 conference a path to the national title game. All it's done is exile them more. The time has come for college football playoff to include deserving teams by expanding to 8 teams and help stop the exclusivity from not being a Power 5 conference. Thank you.